She spent money to withdraw from the trending search. TSK, it seems to be true. Just now when I searched SX's Weibo, I saw that she seems to be a rich second generation everyday. She probably didn't engage in unspoken rules. The financier is gone. Can anyone find out who the financier of SX is? There were also sporadic discussions, but none of them dared to mention Shirshi's name. They only dared to use the abbreviation SX instead. Xiaoyunzhou refreshed the page and looked at his phone screen. Shirshi had yet to reply to his message. He believed that Shirshi would not do such a thing. He just felt unhappy when he saw the comments online. These people clearly did not understand the truth, so they just spouted nonsense. And Shirshi, why didn't she answer her phone or reply to his message? Could she be crying? Thinking about how Shirshi liked someone else, Xiaoyunzhou felt a wave of frustration in his heart. The next morning, Shirshi woke up from a dream-free night. She picked up her phone to check the time and saw that there were 99 plus missed calls and 99 plus unread messages. Shirshi was confused. What happened? Could it be that she had been hacked by the entire internet? Shirshi quickly opened her Weibo and realized that her Weibo unread message was also 99 plus. Oh, it seemed that she had been on the hot searches last night. Shirshi looked at a few messages and roughly understood what was going on. Meeting the director at night? They were all in the same production team. Wasn't it normal for them to stay in the same hotel? Moreover, she clearly met Xiaoyunzhou at night. How could she be meeting the director at night? Shirshi was very angry. Consequences, none. At this moment, a WeChat message popped up. A message from Xiaoyunzhou, awake? When Shirshi saw the villain's message, her hand trembled and her phone dropped on the bed. Although she had added Xiaoyunzhou's WeChat, she was not ready to become friends with Xiaoyunzhou on the internet. Shirshi quickly clicked on it and realized that Xiaoyunzhou had also sent her a message last night. And she, who was sleeping soundly, did not reply at all. Shirshi's face was ashen. Dead. Could it be that next week would be her 7th day? Xiaoyunzhou saw the WeChat message, the other party is typing, but he did not receive any reply. He frowned slightly and immediately called. Shirshi had not thought about how to reply, but when she saw Xiaoyunzhou's WeChat call, her hand trembled again and she immediately rejected it. Shirshi's heart was ashen. Today, I'll go pick a coffin that I like. Xiaoyunzhou saw that Shirshi rejected his call, and his thin lips pursed tightly. What was this fellow up to? Shirshi mustered up the courage to call back. Xiaoyunzhou picked up the call. Why did you hang up just now? I accidentally made a mistake. Shirshi was determined not to die. Well, what did young Master Xia call for? Xiaoyunzhou's eyes drooped slightly. What do you want to eat tonight? Shirshi was at a loss. Xiaoyunzhou asked, do you still want to go to Qingshui restaurant? He remembered that Shirshi had eaten quite happily yesterday. Shirshi said, yes. Using the excuse of having a dinner appointment, Xiaoyunzhou conveniently expressed his concern for Shirshi. Don't take the words on the internet to heart. Shirshi only wanted to laugh. The director is my uncle. How could I have anything to do with him? Shirshi looked at the time and said in surprise, I'm going to the production team. See you tonight. Xiaoyunzhou did not get angry after the call was hung up. Instead, he was a little happy. He dialed his assistant's number. Check Shirshi's network. As an active worker, Shirshi cursed the paparazzi who were spreading rumors in her heart. She hurriedly got up and went to the production team. Today, everyone in the production team was even more cautious of Shirshi. They were all in the entertainment industry and were well informed. Many of them ate melons until late at night. They had long known that Shirshi and the director's relationship was not shallow, but did not expect that kind of relationship. Shirshi was only focused on reading the script and did not notice the attitude of the surrounding staff towards her. As a vicious supporting actress, she was tasked with the task of turning the plot around. At the very least, she had to memorize the lines well. Meanwhile, the director did not care about the comments on the internet. He was directing the filming at the scene without holding back. At 3:30 p.m., Shirshi's scene ended. The director called out to her, Shirshi, tomorrow night, we'll be filming the scene of the school's anniversary celebration. You must remember to be there. Don't worry, tomorrow at 4 p.m., I'll be there on time. Shirshi packed her things and quickly left work. In the evening, she still had to accompany Xiaoyunzhou to Qingshui restaurant for dinner. Shirshi looked at the time and prepared to go to the mall to buy pants first. She had dirted Xiaoyunzhou's pants, so she had to give him a pair. After arriving at the mall, Shirshi went to the men's clothing area and casually strolled around. Shirshi had never bought clothes for a man before. When she entered the men's clothing area, her vision turned black. However, the men's clothes were about the same. Shirshi picked an expensive one and bought it. Looking at the time, it was only 5 o'clock. She wanted to go shopping and buy some clothes for herself. After shopping in 2 shops, she heard the sound of an argument. You're a country bumpkin. Do you know how much these clothes cost? Can you afford them? Be careful. If you touch them and get dirty, you won't be able to pay for it. She glanced over and saw Ningyu, who was being bullied in the shop. Why was the female lead here? She almost gasped. How did she bump into Ningyu even when she was shopping? Thinking back on what she had said just now, she could roughly recall the plot of the novel. It was probably because Ningyu came out to buy a gown and met the cannon fodder girl. The cannon fodder girl mocked Ningyu as a country bumpkin who had no knowledge and no money. Then, she was ruthlessly slapped in the face by Ningyu. Very good, there was no role for her, This matter had nothing to do with her. She was prepared to quietly leave this central plot area. However, just as she was about to turn around and leave, the cannon fodder girl called out to her. Hey, come in quickly. She wanted to pretend that she didn't hear it, but the cannon fodder girl had already taken 2 or 3 steps forward and pulled her in from outside the shop. What do you think of this gown? The cannon fodder girl said happily, the family is going to hold a banquet in a few days. If you wear this gown, you'll definitely amaze everyone. She followed her instructions and looked over. On the snow-white gown, there were bits of broken diamonds and layers of white gauze on the chest. The design was very impressive. It was indeed very beautiful. Ningyu laughed softly at the side. I took a liking to this gown first. The cannon fodder girl raised her chin slightly and swept her gaze from top to bottom. She looked at Ningyu and said disdainfully, You took a liking to it? Can you afford it? Ningyu's eyes darkened, and she felt a little displeased. She had never wanted to attend any banquets in the first place, and it was even more so when she returned to the Sure family. Her originally carefree life was now completely thrown into chaos. She couldn't afford it? What a joke. She's my sister. Put this dress on my bill. She took out her phone and took out the electronic membership card of this shop. She said to the shop assistant, Give me the bill. Ningyu and the cannon fodder girl were both stunned. The shop assistant naturally knew Shi. After being stunned for a moment, he took Shi's phone with both hands. Okay, Miss Shi, this way please. Ningyu looked at Shi and frowned slightly. She said uncomfortably, I have money. You don't have to pay for me. Shi whispered, I have a membership from this shop. I can get a 50% discount. The cannon fodder girl looked at Shi, then at Ningyu, and then at Shi. She's your sister? Shi gave a vague introduction. Yes, she's my parents' biological daughter, Ningyu. This is my friend, Tao Yuxuan. The cannon fodder girl's name was Tao Yuxuan. Her family sold electrical appliances and had a little money in Feng City. Tao Yuxuan sized up Ningyu and said in a mysterious tone, So, you're the Ningyu who flew up to become a phoenix. She corrected her, even if she doesn't fly, she's still a phoenix. Don't look for trouble with her. She was kind enough to advise the original owner, this friend of the cannon fodder. What good ending could there be if she went against the female protagonist? Tao Yuxuan felt even more heartache for Shi. Did the Shi family spoil her and stop doting on you after she came back? Tao Yuxuan gritted her teeth and said, I heard that you were chased out of the Shi family the moment she came back. Yesterday, you were even trending on the internet. Did she get someone to do it? What are you thinking about? She felt a headache coming on. She pulled Tao Yuxuan and said, Stop talking. Ningyu saw the two of them exchanging words and could not be bothered with them. She walked away. The shop assistant had already wrapped up the clothes and handed them to Shi. Shi took back her phone. Give her the clothes. Ningyu said calmly, You bought these. I don't want them. After saying that, she left the shop. Tao Yuxuan became even angrier. What is she trying to pull? You were kind enough to buy her clothes, but she still doesn't want them? Does she really think that she's a rich young lady? She had a headache. What the H***LL was this? The female lead probably thought that she was up to no good and decided to play the good cop, bad cop with Tao Yuxuan. No matter what, she's still the daughter of the Shi family, which means she's half my sister, Shi said sternly. Don't say such things in front of her in the future. Tao Yuxuan looked at Shi's expression and said in pain, She stole your things, and you're still defending her. You're just too kind, that's why you've been bullied all this time. I can't explain it. She seemed to be even whiter than the original owner. All right. Just don't look for her in the future. She looked at the time. Shall we continue shopping? Why are we still shopping? I'm not in the mood. Tao Yuxuan said, I'll call out all my friends. Shall we go sing together? No, I have an appointment tonight. Tao Yuxuan looked at the bag in Shi's hand and a knowing smile appeared on her face. Is it for Xingyan? She said, no. Tao Yuxuan thought that she was shy and blinked. Aya, since it's a meal with Xingyan, I won't disturb you. Make the most of it. She said, then I'll be leaving first. Tao Yuxuan waved her hand. Bye-bye? The shop assistant went forward hesitantly. Monsieur, this dress. She asked the shop assistant to pass the dress to Ningyu, but Ningyu did not accept it. Give it to me. She took the dress with a heavy heart. Did she offend the female lead, or did she not offend the female lead? What was more serious was that she still had to go meet Xie Yunzhou. When she thought of meeting the male lead Xingyan's parents the next day, Shi's footsteps became heavy. Was the plot so tight? She carried the paper bag and arrived at Qingshui restaurant. Xie Yunzhou had yet to arrive at Qingshui restaurant, so she ordered a few dishes according to her preferences and waited for someone. Not long after, Xie Yunzhou arrived. She handed over the bag in her hand. This is for your clothes. Xie Yunzhou recalled how she had dirted his pants that day. But why were there 2 bags? She said embarrassedly, besides your pants, I also picked out a belt for you as an apology. Xie Yunzhou took the paper bag with mixed feelings. It was clearly Shi who had saved him, but Shi acted as if she had done something wrong. Was he the scary? Xie Yunzhou sat down. You saved me. Logically speaking, I should be the one to thank you. Shi quickly waved her hand. No need, no need. It was nothing. Just don't feed me to the fish in the river in the future. After sitting down, Shi saw that the cup in front of Xie Yunzhou was empty, so she picked up the teapot and poured tea for him. While pouring the tea, Shi saw the sandalwood bracelet on Xie Yunzhou's wrist. The wooden beads reflected on his wrist, making his hand look even more beautiful. His fingers were long and thin, and his veins were protruding. Drip, drip, drip. Shi, who was absent-minded, came back to her senses and saw that the tea had long overflowed and flowed along the edge of the table all the way to Xie Yunzhou's pants. I'm sorry. Shi hurriedly put down the teapot to get a tissue to wipe. Xie Yunzhou held her hand and said in a low voice, I'll do it myself. She went back to her seat, feeling as if she was in the villain mogul's minefield repeatedly jumping. She wouldn't be surprised if the next thing she knew, she was being thrown out to feed the fish. Sobi, sobi, sobi. She was an ordinary big beauty. Why would meet such a terrible person? Sobi, sobi, sobi. She wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Fortunately, she had given him a pair of pants today. Xie Yunzhou put on the pants that she had given him and pursed his thin lips tightly. Just now, when the girl poured tea for him, he was only focused on staring at Shi. He actually didn't notice that the tea was overflowing. It was really strange. After changing their clothes, the two of them quietly finished their meal. Xie Yunzhou didn't know how to get along with the opposite sex. All the topics he could think of were related to the current financial situation. She probably did not want to hear this, right? At this moment, she was engrossed in her meal. Thinking that this might be her last meal, she felt extremely sad. All the way until Xie Yunzhou sent Shi back to the hotel, she still could not believe it. Did she actually save her life again? After Shi got out of the car, she smiled sincerely at Xie Yunzhou and said, thank you. It seemed that the big villain still had a conscience. Xie Yunzhou saw how happy Shi was to leave him, and the corner of his lips pressed down. He had never bullied Shi before, so why didn't Shi like him? Because Shi liked Xingyan? Thinking about the time when the girl was with him and always thinking about another man, Xie Yunzhou's mood instantly turned sour. What time do you get off work tomorrow? Xie Yunzhou asked. Huh? Shi was slightly startled. Are you still going to treat me to dinner? Xie Yunzhou raised his cold eyes. Is that not possible? Of course. Shi took a step back, thinking to herself that the character of a big-shot villain was really unpredictable. But I don't have time tomorrow. I have to go to Xingyan's house at noon and shoot at night. I might have to shoot until midnight. Got it. Xie Yunzhou rolled up the car window. She looked at the car leaving in the distance and was completely confused. What the H*LL was Xie Yunzhou doing? Why was he always thinking of treating her to a meal? Could it be that he wanted to fatten her up before feeding her to the fish? Forget it, she wouldn't be able to guess that big boss thoughts. She turned around and returned to the hotel. In the car, Xie Yunzhou leaned against the back of his chair, in a bad mood. The high EQ assistant in the front seat saw everything and wiped his sweat. He thought to himself, if the boss was chasing after Monsieur like this, he wouldn't be able to get her even if he died. The assistant asked, President Xie, is that a gift from Monsieur? Xie Yunzhou replied, yes. The assistant hinted, do you need me to prepare a return gift for Monsieur? Xie Yunzhou looked at the bag in front of him and pondered. She saved me, so I should give her a gift. His assistant heaved a sigh of relief. Go to the jewelry store. His assistant, who was about to get off work, all right. If he had known, he would have said it tomorrow. The car stopped in front of the jewelry store, and the assistant thought of another matter. Miss Shi was Xingyan's fiancée. Was the boss trying to steal her away? The assistant looked up at the name of the jewelry store, Xingshi Jewelry. F***ck, I was too hasty. I brought the boss to buy jewelry from his rival in love. Early in the morning. She got up early in the morning to dye her hair green. She stayed away from the male lead, starting with the annulment of the engagement. In the original plot, although the male lead did not like Shi, the male lead's parents liked Shi very much. They felt that her beautiful and elegant appearance was worthy of marrying a noble lady. She had to break the stereotype of the Sheng family's parents. Although she was indeed beautiful and elegant, she could not marry the male lead. Tony looked at the girl's long hair and asked, "Do you really want to dye it green?" She nodded. Yes. Tony thought that the young lady was quite good-looking, but there was something wrong with her brain. Wait. She thought for a moment and said, "Can you dye it into a one-time use? The kind that can be washed off?" Of course. Tony smiled and recommended, "Miss, do you want to apply for a card? Now you'll get 3,000 for 5,000, and 5,000 for 10,000. She said, "I'll get 10,000. Perhaps she would have to dye her hair frequently in the future. An hour later. Tony looked at the girl in the mirror and said in amazement, "So beautiful." The girl's skin was whiter than snow, her eyebrows were curved, her lips were red, and her teeth were white. Her black and bright eyes were like the stars in the dark night, and her eyelashes were thick and curly like crow feathers. Her facial features were exquisite like a doll. Her long, wavy green hair hung down, making the girl look even more exquisite and cute. When the other female customers in the shop saw this, they called out, "I want to dye that color of hers too." There was even a little boy who raised his hand and said, "Mommy, I want to dye this thing green too." Then, he was beaten up by his mommy. She was also very satisfied. She was so unconventional that the Sheng family's parents would definitely not like her. After coming out of the hair salon, she took a taxi from the app to the Sheng family's house. Before the car arrived, she was hit on by a thin and shifty-eyed man. The thin and small man said sneakily, "I have something good here." She subconsciously asked, "What good thing?" The thin and small man took out an illusion-shaped iron necklace. This is a good thing that was dug out from the tomb of King Qin. King Qin relied on it to keep his corpse from rotting for thousands of years. Wearing it on your body can ensure that your meridians are connected. The iron oxide inside will flow through your skin and drain your blood, replenishing iron ions. When she heard about the iron oxide, she realized that she had met a swindler. She interrupted, "Isn't this just a magnet?" The skinny man was not anxious even though he had been exposed. He continued, "The market price is 188,000 yuan. I think you are fated. Let's be friends today. I'll sell it to you for 180 yuan. She casually bargained, 18 yuan for it? The skinny man said resolutely, "Okay." She was too careless. Since the price was already stated, she could only pay. The skinny man took the money and chuckled. "Don't feel that you are losing out. Just buying this magnet alone costs more than 10 yuan. I even gave you a hanging rope for free." Why did she need a magnet? Sure enough, after dyeing her hair, her IQ would also plummet. The car was parked by the roadside. She stuffed the magnet into her bag and got into the car.